Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm going to give a quick rundown of my race from yesterday and into today, actually. Ultimately, I ended up having to drop at mile 86.6, and I'll get to that in a minute, the reason why. But like I said, I'm going to give a quick overview of how everything went. So the race started at 5 a.m. It was a slow start. It starts on a single track, over 100 runners starting at the same time. But I got to the first aid station right on time. If not, maybe like a minute early. Jessica was ready to go with my burrito. Ate my burrito while I was running. Inhaled a bunch of eggs to start and choked on it for a couple minutes. But it ended up being good. And anyways, didn't see them again until mile 29. But leading up to mile 29, we had a 3,000 foot climb that was just brutal, and it took a lot longer than anticipated. I think I was an hour late getting to that aid station, but it was still good. Spirits were still super high. Then Jessica and the kids went down to pick up George and Jenny, who were going to be my pacers later on in the day, and I was going to meet them 10 miles later. So I did that leg of the race and actually made up an hour. It was a super fun, runnable area, and got to, so what mile was that? Around 39, 40-ish. So I was still running by myself, don't have a pacer, but at this time my stomach was kind of like acting up, and the only thing I could really eat was watermelon. I tried eating some other solid food, but just nothing was sitting well. Got to the next leg, which was Kelly, where we picked Kelly up at mile 47.6. And so leading into Kelly's leg was a super hard section of trail where we climbed up 2,500 feet and then ran down 2,500 feet. So I was really tired coming to this, and I still wasn't able to eat a lot. I was drinking well, like that went well, but I just couldn't get in a lot of calories. So picked Kelly up, and then my stomach was kind of bothering me, so I went to the bathroom, which just didn't go so good. And then me and Kelly headed out, and on the map, her leg of the race looked relatively easy. It was just supposed to be like a 1,500 foot like up and down and then back over. Well, it ended up being 8 miles up for 8 miles, and then 2 miles straight down pretty much. And then we do that again. And so on the way back, so on the way there, it was pretty painful. It was a lot of long uphills, a lot of grinding, but on the way back we were able to run a lot of it, and actually had some fun on the way back. But like I said, I still wasn't able to eat anything. The aid station before we started heading back was, they had everything you could want, but I could only get watermelon in, so she ran with a handful of watermelon and would feed me on the way. At this point, I had dropped my vest, and she was my support for water and food, and I grabbed my trekking poles, which actually helped a lot. So this was a turnaround. So this was halfway through the race. We get back, I pick Gage up, same deal, still not eating a lot. What did I eat with you, Gage? Just watermelon, yeah. And then his leg was super tough. So now it's an out and back course. So now we're doing everything over again that I had done by myself earlier in the day. So now we're going up 2,500 feet. By this time it's dark. The fog was moving in. You could only see a couple feet in front of you at some points because the fog was so thick. And we ended up getting lost. Found our way back. Lost a little bit of time there, no big deal. It was kind of more just like a morale bummer. Took a quick little 10-minute dirt nap just to increase my mental, like just wrap my head around getting lost and trying to find our way back. So that actually helped. Got back to the truck, went through the aid station, and they had tomato basil soup. So I wanted that. Got to the truck. Then I got to the truck and I was just exhausted. So I told everybody I wanted an 18-minute nap. So I laid back in the truck for 18 minutes, fell sound asleep, and then they had the soup ready for me. So I drank the soup, which was really doing good. I was still, like, GAD reflex was still here and there, but I was able to get the soup down. And then Jenny, my cousin Jenny, and I headed out for the next section, which was 10 miles, heading back up to another aid station where we're gonna meet George. So at this time, it's
66 miles.
What time in the morning is it though? It's like
3
in the morning.
3 in the morning.
Yeah. So me and Jenny head out. No.
3:30.
No, that's
No,
when me and George
George.
left. So 1 in the morning. Midnight.
Yeah.
Midnight. Jenny and I left at midnight, and we ran till 3 in the morning, and we made up time. The soup kicked in, and my spirits lifted. I was able to just really run again.
Made up some time.
Yeah, so we made up almost an hour, and then so we got back into the aid station here, and they had a cutoff time of 4 a.m. So we got in at 3:30. So I had 3 o'clock, and then so I had 30 minutes to spare because I wanted to get some more soup in. My spirits were high. I really wanted to get warm up because the fog and the wind was kind of making it cold. So got warmed up, and then George and I headed out. But my problem from earlier when I went to the bathroom is I have hemorrhoids, and they bug me sometimes. They haven't been bugging me lately, but they decided to flare up right before me and Kelly went out. So for 20 miles, I've been running with that problem. George and I head out, and we get about a mile into our leg of the race, which is 1,000 feet up before we descend 3,000 feet. On the descent, it was just brutal, and to the point where it ended up bursting and hurting so bad that we were going 1 mile an hour. We had a 29 minute an hour mile pace, and we were just lagging. And then I got super tired where I started to hallucinate. I thought the shadow in front of George from our headlamps was like Peter Pan's shadow, and he was trying to catch his shadow. I started seeing tarantulas, which were actually just pieces of grass. So I told George, I just need a nap. Give me an 8-minute nap. So I flopped down next to the trail, fall asleep for 8 minutes, sound asleep. He wakes me up, we start going again, but the pain in my rear was so bad that it took us over 4 hours to go 8.5 miles to get to the aid station, and pretty much no, we're not going to make the next cutoff. So we decided to call it quits there. But it's not a failure. I'm super stoked on the way how everything went. I ran 86.6 miles, 17,000 feet of vertical gain and loss. It was an awesome day. Learned so much about stuff I should be eating, how to get more calories in when I'm running. I had so much fun running with my crew. Kelly and Gage were just awesome. Jenny had so much fun with you, and George, he tried his best. He was hand feeding me at one point to get me to keep eating so we could keep going. But I was a little bit embarrassed at the time to tell him what was going on. But ended up having to tell him. But so that's it. SAMO 100 was a blast. It was a hard course. So much climbing. But hey, we're already looking for the next one.